Hey, hi everyone, welcome back to Burra Country. I'm Peter, it's windy, and today we are riding the Bass Coast Rail Trail. Now I'm actually up at Woolamai, which is where this trail kind of starts or ends depending on which way you're going. And if you look down behind me, there's some trail down that way, and it's going towards the next town, which is Anderson, and then heading off towards Wonthaggi. If I turn around and go the other way and look up that way, that's heading north, and that's pointing up towards Nyora. Now the trail kind of stops there, it just stops, that's where it ends. However, there are lots of plans in place, and I believe those plans are coming back now, and there's some action being done where they're going to join this part of the trail to right up to Nyora. And that's great for Nyora because that makes Nyora a pretty good central point as far as trails go. And it's great for tourism, and it brings money into the local areas and into this part of the South of Gippsland. And the reason why that is because Nyora is also the starting point if you're starting at the western end of the Great Southern Rail Trail. So this would join up to the Great Southern Rail Trail, which would make this a massively long trail coming all the way around. So look, there's a lot of politics, there's a lot of things that have happened over the years as to why this trail stopped here and hasn't gone any further. Let me tell you, the train lines have been closed since about 1978. They don't exist anymore. But the original train line came from Nyora down through here, went off to Wonthaggi, and now this is the rail trail. Now, the trail at this end, where I'm standing right now, is pretty, as you'll see when we look at the video, it's overgrown, it's patchy, it's got some ruts in it, so just be a little bit cautious. It was pretty good, it's a pretty good ride. It's not bad, but just be aware that there are a few ruts in it in a few places. Officially, and we'll show you the map down at Anderson, officially that's where the end point is. Wonthaggi is one end, right up near at the Wonthaggi railway station, and the other end is down at Anderson where the toilets and the car park is. So there's no car parking here. So if you're riding up want to ride from here, then there's no really where to park. I parked on the side of the road, probably not the best place to be, and there's nowhere else where you could really probably safely park or legally park your car while you went off and did this ride. So if you want to do this section, you might have to get on at Anderson, park there is car parking there, and you can ride up to here and then ride back again. It's only a few kilometres, so it's not a real long addition to your trail. So look, that's where we're at. So we're going to head off. Today's weather for this is pretty hot. It's going to be 34, 35 degrees Celsius. Today I've started off pretty early in the morning, so that well, early enough so that I've gone. By the time we arrived here, it's just on 9 o'clock, and we're going to be I'm going to head off and see where I go. Now, it also is we're a bit time constrained on this one, so I won't be stopping in every place to look at toilets, but we will be marking out on the trails where the toilets and that are located. There's certainly toilets at Anderson, there's certainly toilets at Wonthaggi. There's also the township that you go through of Kilcunda. You go through Dalyston, which is not really through the town, but you're quite near it, and there's toilets there as well. So there are services along this trail, and from this point to Wonthaggi, it was around about 22 kilometres, so it's a bit longer than what it states on the trail. So if you're coming out to here and you ride that bit and head all the way to Wonthaggi railway station, the GPS said it was about 22 kilometres, so a little bit longer than what it states on the guide. So let's go and have fun, and let's go and have a look at the Bass Coast Rail Trail in South Gippsland. We're about to pass through Kilcunda, and Kilcunda is a very popular stop here along the way. It gives you access to the beaches here. There's cafes, there's accommodation, and there's a really big park area here. There's also toilets over on the right hand side coming up. Kilcunda is also the starting point for the George Bass Coastal Walk, which is a cliff-top walk that travels from Kilcunda back towards San Remo near Phillip Island. It's a 7-kilometre walk each way. It's also not suitable for bikes, so it doesn't take you all the way to San Remo. It takes you up to Punch Bowl Road. If you look that up on a map, you'll find where that is. Now, the other thing about Kilcunda is that although it's quite a small town now, and it's been quite a quiet town for quite a long time, in the coal mining days there were active coal mines around here from 1840 onwards, and when the rail line was here, there were a number of temporary sidings that came out from nearby Kilcunda to support the mining. So there was actually quite a lot of activity here railway wise. Coming up is the iconic Trestle Bridge here at Kilcunda. This was built in 1911. It's 91 metres across, it's 12 metres high, and it crosses the Bourne Creek. It's one of those places you come and take photos of and video of and just look at it because of the amazing backdrop of Bass Strait behind it. It's well worth coming here to have a look at this. It's actually quite a brilliant piece of engineering that crossed over this creek here, and with that backdrop it's just worth the stop.
Thank you.
Along here you can detour off to the left to Dalyston, and in Dalyston you'll find the Dalyston General Store and the Ozone Hotel, both of which have been there since 1901. It's a bit of a ride up there. It's still about probably between half a kilometre and a kilometre off to your left here. And then here, as you get to this point, this is the Powlett River crossing, and the Powlett River runs down through Dalyston and heads out, and the mouth of the Powlett River ends back out towards Kilcunda. It's a very picturesque area and great scenery. You're meant to be dismounting from your bike if you are crossing these bridges here, and sometimes the signs come up a bit late, but it's very rough. Let me tell you that it's very, very rough. As you can see here, even just walking, the camera's bouncing all over the place. So please dismount the bike as per the instructions. The same goes for when you're crossing the trestle bridge. You are expected to dismount your bike and actually walk across that bridge. Throughout a number of our videos, we've actually pointed out that there are animals that live here on these trails, and one of those is a snake. And up until now we hadn't seen any snakes. I had seen a blue-tongued lizard. This year I've seen nothing until now, and this is a Lowlands Copperhead. They are dangerously venomous, don't go near them, and like a lot of the snakes in this area. So please don't, and we had that verified, that breed of snake. There's a Facebook page as per the details on the screen. Best thing to do is just stop and wait. That snake is stopping because it's not coiled up, so it's actually on its way across, and if you get too close to it, it is just going to stay staring at you until you back away or move off. So just stand back and wait for a little while, and that snake will start moving on. And this was a really warm day, and this is the place I would expect to see snakes, is out here in the sun getting some warmth. And it did take a little while. I was probably stopped here for probably 4 or 5 minutes nearly, until that snake decided to actually move right off the path. Don't go trying to pass around it. You will frighten the snake, and if it reacts aggressively in being frightened, then you may end up getting bitten. So just wait, and it will cross off the road like it's doing now, and it will clear the pathway for you. Just be patient. we're now heading into Wonthaggi. Wonthaggi became a town in about 1910, and it's kind of later than a lot of the smaller towns around this area. One of the things that Wonthaggi did was create a central point for a lot of the mining, for the shipping of mining. And originally, before the trains, the coal that was mined in this area was actually taken to Inverloch and sent out to sea by a transport ship, and then loaded onto bigger ships. So the introduction of the train lines was to help increase the output in this area, so that Victoria could break the stranglehold that New South Wales at the time had on coal, and coal was needed for the steam train industry. So interestingly, the steam train introduction actually killed off a part of a shipping industry in order to become what it was for quite some time. So that's a little bit of the history here. Now, there were lots of sightings from Wonthaggi that went off to different little to coal mines, and so that they could load coal, etc., into the trains at this station. So here we are. This is Wonthaggi station here. Wonthaggi has a lot of services here. It is a bigger shopping hub than most the other towns around this area. It has a hospital, and it is quite a good central place if you're on the coastline to start your travels out. So if you go a little bit past Wonthaggi, you're going to end up in Inverloch, which is a great place to go and visit, and then back along the trail you've seen all those stops that we had between there. And of course, if you keep going west, you can travel down to San Remo and Phillip Island. So it's a great location, lots of accommodation, and lots of things to do here in Wonthaggi. We are here. This is Wonthaggi, so this is the end of or the beginning of the trail, depending on how you look at it, and this is Wonthaggi station. And as you can see, as we look across this way, the station has been developed to include a museum now, and it's all glassed in here at the back, so you can still see in here, even when it's not open. You can actually see some of the old historical pieces that they've kept here. Now that actually covers over the actual platform station entrance itself, which is pretty cool, and it's just a nice looking place. It's actually really well presented, that, for a train station. I haven't seen any of them like this so far. So there's an old loading crane or gantry there, and we're just going to walk up here. There's the men's shed, Wonthaggi men's shed. Okay, so this is the park area in front of the railway station, and you can see there's a part of a coal mining tower there with some pulleys on the top. There's horns on the top of that, and every day at 12 noon that horn still blares, so for 12 noon, so that's kind of cool. So this is a nice part here. Now I'm just going to show you here that the museum is open on Saturdays at the moment only, 11 AM to 1 PM, and hours do change. So I did notice that they have winter hours and summer hours, so just have a look and make sure that if you want to be coming and looking through the museum, that you come down at the right time. So have a look on the web page or the Facebook page and see what there is. But this is a museum piece in itself. The building, like the Currumborough one, railway station. Although this is much smaller, this is in the Queen Anne style, the way this building was put together. So it's a historical building in itself. And look, it's been fabulously renovated, and really, seriously, they could do some works like this up in Currumborough. It really would make it a big difference there. So, but the Historical Society, the local one, this is where they are located. So, good to know. So, this is Wonthaggi. Wonthaggi is at the beginning or the end, as I said, of the trail, depending on how you look at it. And for some reason, people seem to think it's okay to litter here. So I'm just going to go and put this, there's a bin up here, I'm just going to go and put that rubbish in the bin. And there's toilets here in this park. So just be aware there are toilets over near the street, and there's toilets along this trail if you go into the township. So it's well laid out and well serviced, this trail. I'm just going to throw that in there. There we go. So there you go, Wonthaggi. Okay, so thanks everyone for joining us on this ride through from Woolamai right back to Wonthaggi. Thanks for joining us in Burra Country. Please, if you feel the mood, please like and subscribe. It's great, it will help us out in the future, and it would be great to have your support on our channel for that. And we'll be heading off to do more rail trails coming up soon. We've actually booked some time off to be going and doing those, so there is a lot more to come, and a few other experiences that you can attend to, particularly with the winter festivals in the Gippsland region, right through Gippsland every year. And so we'll see you then in Burra Country.